Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel Under the Avo Tree. I am Aoife and today we are going to go through a super easy, slow and dreamy sequence. It will be fairly short and fairly easy. Something that maybe you can do in your PJs will be a really nice wind down before bed, or if you're looking for a slower start to your day, maybe on a Saturday or Sunday, it could be really nice to do then as well. We won't be working up a sweat or anything, so you could keep on your PJs if you really wanted to. Make it very easy for yourself, not to have to get changed or anything to get going into your practice. So we're going to stay on the mat the whole entire time, keeping it nice and low. We're going to go really slowly and just enjoy it. Just let it be easy. So we'll get started in child's pose whenever you're ready. Also, seeing as we will be going a bit slowly, if you want to wear socks for this, or like I said, your PJs, or just have like cozy clothes on, so that we won't be building up too much heat or anything like that. So just making sure that you're warm enough. As you can tell, it's still Christmas. Christmas has not yet happened, so obviously in Ireland anyway, it's pretty cold. So we're going to start in child's pose, and this is yogi's choice, whether you want your knees together or you want your knees apart. The big toes touching if the knees are apart. Just walking the hands out in front, letting the forearms rest down, and then letting the forehead rest onto the mat. Then you also have the option, if you've got your knees together, you could take the arms back alongside the legs. So just up to you, whichever is calling you, whichever you think sounds super cozy. We'll just take a few moments here. So just feeling the shins, the tops of the feet, the forehead pressing off of the mat. Feeling the arms, whether it's the forearm, the back of the forearms, or the hands, the palm of the hands and the forearms resting down on the mat. Just noticing those contact points. And then taking the attention into your breath. So without any effort, just noticing how you're breathing. Noticing where you can feel the body filling and emptying. And just start to deepen the breath, feeling as if it's filling up the space of the back of your body, so the back of the rib cage. Filling up, inhaling here. And exhale, releasing it all out, letting the belly sink closer to the thighs. Inhaling nice and deep, filling up the back body. And exhaling to empty it out. One more time, inhaling nice and deep. And exhale, releasing it all. And then just letting the breath return to its natural pace. Feeling once again the contact points between you and the mat. Maybe listening to any sounds that are around you in your space or beyond it. And coming back into the space, moving the body. So maybe just taking a little sway side to side here. And taking the arms out in front if they aren't already there. We're just going to slowly walk the hands over to the right. So at about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you can keep the hands either shoulder distance or taking the left hand on top of the right hand. And then just letting the head once again reach down towards the mat. I might not actually touch the mat here, just letting it be heavy. Just feeling the stretch in the left side of the body as you breathe. I'll do one more inhale. Exhale, slowly walking the hands back to center and then all the way over to the left. This time you can, again, either shoulder distance apart with the hands or right hand on top of left. And once again, just slowly breathing, filling up the belly, feeling the stretch in the side body. Exhaling to sink deeper down. One more inhale. Exhale, take the hands back to center and just slowly coming up to tabletop. Just separating out the knees when they're hip distance apart. Maybe just walking out the knees, maybe patting down the feet a little bit. They might have be a bit overstretched after being in child's pose for so long. And then making sure the hands are underneath the shoulders. I'm just going to slowly take circles with the shoulders around the wrists. So you can take them as big or as small as you like. Moving back with the hips as you move back with the shoulders. Forward with the hips, they're joining in on the circles. Maybe bringing a bit of a sway into the rib cage as you do this. And then we just take them the opposite direction. And you can choose to just take the circle smaller, just right around the wrists, focusing it in. And coming back to center, we're going to turn the fingertips to point out to the edges of the mat. So the heels, the hands are facing each other. We're just going to go side to side here. Just warming up the wrists, not that we're going to be doing too much with them. Taking it side to side, just feeling into the sensations in the arms, the forearms, the wrists. Where can you feel this that you might not normally be feeling sensations in your day-to-day activities? And then coming back to center, if you can, you're going to walk the fingertips back around so they point back to the body, towards the knees. We're going to go forward and backwards with the shoulders, maybe lifting up the heel of the hand as you move back. And if this is not working for you, you can turn the fingers back out to the sides and moving forward and backwards from here as well. So we'll just do a few more here. Just noticing the intensity of the stretch. Noticing the reaction of your thoughts, like, oh, this feels weird. One more time back. Coming back to center, turning the fingertips once again to point back to the front. Maybe you want to give the wrists a little circle out. If you're not used to that sort of motion, like it can be quite intense. So giving the wrists a little circle before we continue on. We're going to lift the right hand up to the ceiling, so opening up to the right, and then threading the right hand through the left side, lowering the shoulder onto the mat. So our hips are facing up to the ceiling. And you can either leave the left hand exactly where it is, you can walk it out to straighten it, or you can take it around and either having it resting on the lower back, or maybe it reaches into the right thigh, squeezing it in between the body and the thigh. Just opening up the shoulder a bit more, twisting the spine, breathing here. One more inhale. Exhale, releasing the left hand back underneath the shoulder. Exhale to reach the right hand up to the ceiling and back down again to the mat. So we'll do the opposite side now. Inhale, lift the left hand up. And exhale, threading it through the right side of the body. And whatever you did on the left side, repeating it this side. So if you kept the hand exactly where it was, doing that again. Walking the hand out if that's what you were doing. Or wrapping it around the back. So we just want to make sure we're matching both sides. Breathing here. Trying to relax into the pose. Seeing can you make it a little softer, a little easier somewhere. One more inhale. Exhale, releasing the right hand back underneath the shoulder. Bringing the left hand up to the ceiling and then back down onto the mat. And then just to neutralize out the spine after that, we're just going to take a few rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, dropping the belly down, gazing forward, maybe up to the ceiling. Exhale, rounding the spine, drawing the belly button in, chin into the chest, gazing back at the thighs. Inhale, dropping the belly down, just reaching the chest forward, gazing up. And exhale, tucking in the tailbone to round the spine. Really pressing into the hands so the shoulders are pushing up to the ceiling. Inhale, dropping the belly down, looking forward and up. And exhale, rounding the spine. We'll do one more round of each. If you want to take any other movement as well, go for it. Maybe swaying side to side or moving backwards and forwards. Then we'll come back to neutral. We're going to come into puppy pose. So just having the hips staying over the knees, and start to walk the hands out in front as far as you can reach them. Keeping the belly button drawn in here, and then starting to lower the chest down to the mat. And now this might be very tight across the shoulders, find it very hard to get down. So if you have a cushion or anything nearby, you could bring it over and place it underneath the chest on the mat, so you can rest down there without overstraining the shoulders. So our hips are staying over the knee, over the knees. I always get my body parts confused, which is funny for a yoga teacher. Reaching the chest, the chin down to the mat. Do one more inhale, and exhale, slowly lifting up the chest and walking the hands back underneath the shoulders. So from here, we're going to just shift the shoulders forward of the wrist. We're going to just inch the knees back a little bit, so you can lower the hips so we almost have a diagonal line from the knees up to the shoulders. And we're just going to slowly lower the body one line without sagging the hips down to the mat. And keeping the hands either side of the chest here. Keeping the tops of the feet really pressed into the ground. Hips are pressed. I like to give my hips a little wiggle just to feel like connection of your hip, your pelvis pressing into the mat. We're going to inhale to lift the chest, just a little cobra. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, gently lifting the chest. And exhale, lowering down. Inhale, lifting. And exhale, lowering. One more time, inhale to lift. And this time exhaling, we're pushing into the hands, sending the hips back to the heels, coming back to our child's pose. And again, your choice, whether it's wide-legged or narrow. Resting the head down to the mat. Just keep the elbows lifted, the forearms lifted off the mat this time. So you're deepening the stretch into the side bodies. Arms are slightly active, but not working too hard. We'll do 2 more breaths here, making them nice and deep. Exhaling out, sighing the breath out. One more time, inhaling. Exhale, sighing it out. And we'll inhale to come all the way back to our tabletop. Exhale, shifting the shoulders forward, and again lowering down without dropping the belly. Sorry, without sagging the hips. Coming again with our cobra pose, we're going to take our hands wider than the mat this time. You can bring them up on the tippy toes, I was going to say, the fingertips. Tops of the feet once again pressed into the mat, giving the hips a little wiggle, shaking them just to feel that connection of the pelvis on the ground. Then inhale, lifting the chest, looking forward, lifting up a little bit higher this time. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, lifting the chest, looking up and forward. And exhale, lowering down. This time we'll inhale and we'll sway side to side as we come up. Just taking some movement into the spine. And exhale, lowering down. We'll do another one like that. Inhale, moving side to side, snaking up into your cobra. And we'll hold it up here as we exhale. So I'll hold here for a few breaths. Maybe taking a look to the left. Slowly looking over to the right. Just stretching out the neck here. Maybe taking it one more time each side. All the way over to the right. Back to center, and slowly lowering down. Take the hands either side of the chest once again, bring yourself once again to our child's pose. Knees wide or together, arms reaching forward, palms pressing into the mat, elbows lifted. And just breathing here, slowing down the breath. Might have increased or sped up a little bit in those last poses. So just noticing the breath as it slows down in this more restful pose. Letting the chest sink towards the mat with each exhale. And we'll slowly start to walk the hands in towards the body. We're going to bring ourselves to kneeling. So bringing the knees together, we're going to come into hero pose. So hero pose, you're sitting, kneeling down. You're not sitting on the heels, so you're going to just lift the bum up so you can bring the heels out a little bit. So it's like the heels are framing your bum rather than sitting on your bum. So we're going to come into hero pose. Now if this is just not working for you, you can sit cross-legged. If you could sit up, kneeling up high, but cross-legged also is a great option. So we're just going to sit in hero pose, going to turn the palms to face up to the ceiling. We're just going to close the eyes down, just gently tucking in the chin a little bit. Just sitting here, feeling the pose. This might be a way you don't sit very often, so just noticing how it feels. Or maybe it's very easy and comfortable for you, and just also noticing how that feels. Just noticing the breath here. Blink open the eyes. If you're able to continue sitting here, then stay here. If you're finding like the tops of the feet, the front of the ankles are starting to get sore, then you can move forward into a cross-legged pose or whatever pose is easy and comfortable for you. And then we're just going to take some gentle neck stretches. So you can keep the hands, if you want, palms facing up. We're just going to take the chin down to the chest, feeling the stretch in the back of the neck. And again, slowing down the breath here. Drawing it into the belly and slowly exhaling to empty out. We'll do one more breath, and then we'll bring the right ear over the right shoulder. So we're bringing the stretch into the left side of the neck now. Again, we're slowing down the breath here. One more inhale. Exhale to come back to center. And then drawing the left ear over the left shoulder. Feeling the stretch down the right side of the neck. Breathing here, just enjoying the stretch. We very rarely stretch our neck out, even though we're often looking at a computer or down at a phone. Then if you want, you can take some movement, breathing, inhaling to one side, exhaling to center, inhaling to the other side. So moving back and forth, or you can just continue to hold one side for a few breaths and then the other side for a few breaths. Just noticing how the neck feels. Noticing the parts of the neck as you move that have sensations and feelings. Tightness, maybe freedom. And then if you want, you can either continue doing that or taking yourself through some full neck rolls. I just think of it as drawing circles with my nose. Bringing the head around. And then the opposite direction. Fully stretching out the neck. Your feet might start to be getting pins and needles like mine are. We'll be moving very soon. But if it's become unbearable, you can always just move to cross-legged. Okay, coming back to center with the head. We're going to shift the hips to one side. Just take the legs out. Maybe straighten them out to give the knees a little bounce, just releasing that out. If you want, you can sit up on a pillow, or if you have a yoga block, sitting up here before we do some forward folds. So we're just going to sit in staff pose to start, hands either side of the hips, legs stretched out, toes pointing to the face. Sitting up nice and tall, drawing in the belly button, and we'll just hold here for 2 breaths, inhaling, exhaling, one more inhale, and exhaling. And we're going to bring the left leg in. We're going to take the left ankle onto the left thigh, so just above the knee. You can hold on to the left foot with the right hand, and the left hand onto the left knee. And we're just going to push the knee down towards the mat and lifting it up. Just working into the leg, into the hip joint. Sitting up nice and tall here. And try not to move the torso too much. Just moving the hip up and down. The knee up and down. Seeing, maybe if you can give the knee a little push further down towards the mat every so often. Let's do one more. We'll release out the leg, bringing in the right leg, doing it the same thing. So the right ankle just above the left knee, holding onto the right foot with the left hand, right hand comes onto the knee. Again, sitting up nice and tall, just pressing the knee down. Nice and slowly, gently. We're not trying to force anything. We're just taking some gentle movement into the hip. Noticing how it feels, how the thigh feels, maybe how your core feels. Let's do a couple more. And then we'll extend out the right leg and maybe giving the knees a little bend. We're going to just take, a little bounce. You're going to take a bend into the knees. We're going to reach up the hands, inhaling here, and exhaling, reaching them forward, coming into our forward fold. The knees are nice and bent, so the belly is connected to the thighs, if you can get it there. If not, you can bend the knees a little bit more. We're just going to let the shoulders, the head be nice and heavy, hanging down towards the legs. You can have the hands wherever they reach. Some might be the shins, maybe take them either side of the legs on the mat. Maybe they're reaching the toes. Just filling the inhale into the space of the back of the rib cage. And with the exhale, letting the chest soften closer to the legs. So similar to what we did in our child's pose at the start. Inhale, filling the back of the rib cage. And exhale, sinking the chest towards the legs. We'll do two more like this. Inhaling. Exhaling. Last time, inhaling. And exhaling. And then just slowly bringing yourself back up to seated. We're going to come around, take the soles of the feet together. Taking hold of the ankles, and to start, before you come into cobbler pose, you're just going to bring the knees up and down like we just did with the one leg straightened out. So just trying to keep the torso nice and tall, not moving it too much, and just lifting and lowering the knees towards the mat. If you want, you can take the hands onto the knees. I almost find it easier to have the hands on the ankles. And then letting the knees reach down to the mat. I'm going to take a nice inhale here. And exhale, reaching the chest forward, elbows can come onto the knees. And just letting the head hang towards the mat. And if not trying to overly round through the spine, you're not forcing your chest towards the feet. More so you're trying to bend from the hips. So feeling like you're sending the hips back as the chest reaches forward. Just letting the head be heavy. Breathing here in cobbler pose. We'll do one more inhale. And exhale to lift up. You can bring the knees together. Take the hands behind you and just drop the knees side to side. Just releasing out the hips, releasing out the glutes. And then coming back to center, just slowly taking yourself all the way onto the mat. Allowing yourself the whole way down. And the shoulders reach the mat, just taking the knees into the chest. Maybe rocking side to side. Maybe giving some circles with the knees. Making sure to go the opposite direction if you're doing that. We're going to let the left leg stretch out on the mat, and we're just going to squeeze in the right knee. Just letting the shoulders relax down. Noticing if you're holding any tension in the face, the jaw, the brow. Just seeing how you soften. Again, deepening the breath into the belly here. And slowly exhaling to empty out completely. We'll do one more inhale. Exhale, emptying it out. And then extending that right leg. We'll bring the left knee in. Squeezing it close into the body. One more inhale here. Exhaling, extending the left leg nice and long, and then we'll take both knees into the chest. And here you can just stay like this if you wish, or if you want to come into happy baby. Just let the knees fall out to the side, and you can stay here. I really like to stay here with the hands just on the knees. Or if you feel like you have the space in the hips, you can take the hands to the outside of the feet. So left hand on the outside of the left foot, right hand on the outside of the right foot, and turn the soles of the feet up to face the ceiling. So any of those three variations, you can take a rock side to side. And then coming back to center. I'm going to bring the knees back into the chest. We're going to let the right leg extend out long. I'm going to take hold of the left knee with the right hand and bring the left knee all the way over to the right. So we're getting a nice final twist here. If you want, you can keep the left hand just resting on the left side of the body, or you can extend it out so the hand is in line with the shoulder and taking the gaze the opposite direction of the leg. Just really noticing where you feel this twist. So I feel it in my outer left glute more so than the twist in the spine. Just making sure both shoulders are down on the mat. So if you find the left shoulder is lifting up, you might need to lift the left knee up off of the ground. So maybe you can pile some cushions underneath to keep it supported and that your shoulders are both connected on the mat. We'll do one more inhale. Exhale, bringing the left knee back up, just leveling yourself before extending the left leg. And we'll bring the right knee in, taking the left hand onto the right knee, drawing the knee all the way over to the left. Again, you can either have the right hand resting on the side of the body or extending it out in line with the shoulder, gazing the opposite direction of the knee. You can close down the eyes here if you wish. Just feeling the surrender to the twist. We'll do one more inhale. Exhale, bring the knee back to center and then straightening out the leg. And then taking any final movements you wish before coming into corpse pose. So if you want to bend the knees in once again, take happy baby again, whatever you're feeling the body needs. And then if you want to grab some socks or a blanket if you don't have one already near you, pause the video, run off and get it. And then coming into corpse pose, Shavasana, the feet as wide as the mat, palms facing up to the ceiling and just walking them away from the body so there's a bit of space between the arms and the body. And then just closing down the eyes. Just letting the body become heavy. Letting the body just surrender to the support of the ground. Releasing any last tensions in the body. Maybe feeling any energy that was created throughout the practice, just moving throughout the body, or maybe you feel a particular area, maybe has a little bit more space, just sensing into these spaces. We're just going to move now through a full body scan, just touching off each part of the body, bringing your awareness to it as I say it, and then moving on to the next part as I say it. So just bring your awareness into that space, is filling it up. So start at the crown of the head, coming down through the forehead, the brow, the temples, coming into the eyes, the eyelids, the eye socket, along the nose, the cheekbones, the lips, the jaw, chin, sensing into the ears, the back of the head, coming down through the neck, feeling first through the back of the shoulders, between the shoulder blades, down through the middle back, the lower back, your bum. Bring the awareness into the fronts of the shoulders, the collarbones, the chest, down along the lower rib cage, the belly, the lower belly, down along the sides of the torso. Just taking the awareness through the shoulders and into the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms, and through the back of the hands, the palm of the hands, and feeling into each of the 10 fingers. And taking your attention back to the hips, feeling down through the thighs, so the front of the thighs, the back of the thighs, the back of the knee, the front of the knee, feeling along the shins and then the calves, through the ankles, the heels, the tops of the feet, through the soles of the feet, and then through each of your 10 toes. And then just sensing your whole body as one, your whole body as one. And just letting your attention drift for a few moments, resting here with nowhere else to be, nothing else to be doing. And gently taking your attention back into your space. So listening to any sounds, feeling the contact points between you and the mat, visualizing the four walls, the ceiling, and then gently starting to take some movement, so wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, encircling the wrists and ankles, taking the movements a little bit bigger before reaching the hands overhead, taking a great full body stretch, inhaling here, sighing out the exhale, releasing it, taking the knees in towards the body, rolling over to your right side. You can take a little cushion or pillow with the hands. Just taking a moment here, really slowly and gently, then moving up to seated, taking your time, trying to keep the eyes closed down or just a gentle gaze down to the mat, just sitting in any comfortable position for you. Letting the hands rest on the thighs, sitting up nice and tall through the spine. Just taking a moment to check in with the body. How is it feeling? Maybe checking in with the mind. Are there many thoughts running around, or maybe it's super quiet and peaceful in there? Just noticing either way is perfectly normal. And taking your hands to prayer at the heart center. Bowing your head down to your heart. Bowing your head and heart to your body. And bowing down all the way to the mat. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed that really slow and dreamy practice. I feel so relaxed right now. I feel like I could just get straight into bed, except it's like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. But I hope you really enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. And make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to find out when the videos are out each week. Usually they're every Friday. And if you love this practice, just share in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks. I'll see you again. Bye.